guys, it's theREALNae. Welcome back to another video, okay? So, as you guys can see, I'm going to be putting you on to how you could possibly be paying $500 and some change for rent. Now, I pay $525 and I'm happy. I absolutely love my living situation. I am so blessed in that way. And you know what? I've been praying hard. And not only that, it came in a time when I needed it the most. Okay, so let me even take y'all back to why I even started looking for a place. So I was living in an apartment with some roommates, and to be honest, roommates can be really, it could be a 50-50 experience. 50% love, hate, you know, but where I was, it was like, I didn't like it at all, and I needed to find something better. And the city that I was living in was really cool because it was near a lot of theme parks and a lot of places you could walk to. So that's always a plus. I could even walk to my own job. I worked about, I want to say, 8 minutes away. I wanted to get out this current situation that I was in, and I wanted to get out ASAP. The people that I was living with was not clean, and I was just over it. And then when I saw things that I just really couldn't deal with, I was like, nah, this is my cue to go, okay? I pay my rent on time, so I shouldn't have to be living here and being uncomfortable at the same time. So I was like, nah, I gotta go. One night, I texted the group and I was like, hey, I'm just letting you guys know that I will be out on the 1st. So by the 1st, I will have all my things packed and out. And they were just like, wow, okay. Like, you know, they were like, what's the sudden, like, moving out thing? But I don't have to explain myself. I didn't explain myself. I just told them what it was, and I gave them a month notice in advance. So they have a month to find someone else. And because I was moving out, I had to find somewhere for me to go. So I was like looking through any app that possibly have that, oh, roommates or rent your room, whatever. I was looking on multiple apps. I was looking on websites. I was looking at apartments. I was looking everywhere. And I was like going crazy because I couldn't find anything decent, and I needed to move out by the 1st. And this was in November. I had told them that I would be out by January 1st. So I gave them a month notice. It was really like easy and hard because there were a lot of people like wanting people for the new year, but then there's also like there's a lot of people that's trying to like redo their lease. So it's like up in the air because landlords don't know if people want to stay, and then again they don't know if people are going to leave. With apartments, it was just out of the question because one, I wasn't even making enough to even live in an apartment by myself, which eventually I will, and two, my credit at that time was not the best. And so I was like, what could I do? So then one of my friends, she was like, hey, you know, I'm really good at looking for rooms if you want to rent a room. And I was like, oh, sweat. You know what? Maybe I should do that. But instead of an apartment, I'm going to look for like in a house. Because I feel like it comes with a certain kind of atmosphere that apartments don't have. And for one, parking was horrible at the apartment that I was at. So I've gotten like over, I want to say like 5 to 10 parking tickets, and I would like try to like revoke them or however you call it so I don't have to pay, because it was just so unnecessary. But like there were some of them that I couldn't get out of, so I had to pay, and that's fine, it's whatever. But anyways, so I was basically looking for a home that I could rent a room in, And that was totally different compared to apartments because homeowners, they're different. They are different. There are a lot of pros and cons to renting a room in a home, but one of the things I've noticed the most is that if they own the house, or even if they're renting the home, they do everything in their power to maintain their home in the most perfect way that they can. So their rules are a lot more strict than apartments. So one thing I love about like home renting is that there's always parking, depending on the area. But for the most part, there's always parking. Either the person has their own parking space or whatever, or there's just ample amount of parking. And luckily, where I live, there's a lot of good amount of parking space, and the city that I live in is so quiet, yet like 8 minutes away I have the outlets. Another 8 minutes in a different direction I have small plazas that has really good stores and a lot of food places. So Trader Joe's, all of them good spots I am near. So I eventually found this place, and how I found it is I went on Craigslist. OMG. I want to say never again, but I want to say thank God. Because like never again for the simple fact is Craigslist very frustrating because a lot of the advertisements are false and they're lying and it's not safe. That is the number one thing you got to worry about when it comes to these kind of things. But the way I did the research is that I was up all night. I went on Craigslist. I was typing just random things like room for $600, renting a room for $500, renting a room for $800, and I wasn't seeing any good ads. I reached out to my friend and I was like, how could I find something within my budget, but it's real. So then she was like, what you need to do is narrow it down as much as possible and start using specific words. Like you want to pay rent in $600, but do you want to pay rent for $600 in LA, Orange County, Riverside? I had to narrow it down. Also, I wanted to be able to not have a long commute. I wanted to be able to not be far from my school. So I wanted to make sure my work was in the area and my school is not too far. I started to do rent a room in so-and-so city. And before I moved here, I was like, I needed to figure out what was most important to me, and the number one thing was community. I put a city that was not too far, but I allowed myself to have 30 minutes from the destinations because my school at that time and my job was right next to each other. I said the furthest I would travel is 30 minutes. Put further cities, and then things started to pop up. I started making sure that when I was on Craigslist, I had advertisement that had pictures. If they didn't have a picture, I wouldn't even look at it because most people are lying when they don't have pictures. They don't want to show you because the ad is just not, real. I started to see good pictures. I started to see like real advertisements, and then I started to play with the range from 500 to 600, from 600 to 700, and looking at the different real advertisements and seeing what each of them had to offer. I had 2 weeks left to find something. And for some reason, when I'm under pressure, I work so well. So I was like, 2 weeks left? Oh, it's go time. After work, I'm going to stay up all night until I find the re-advertisements that's real, has images, and is in my price range. I was up for at least most of the night, and I came across 3 good ones. When I came across those places, I written the number down, I emailed them, and I looked through all the images. They were all 3 legit. So then I started emailing them, and I was like, the first person that reached out to me, I'm going to set an appointment to go see the place if it's still available. And all 3 was available. So this first place that I went to, one of the best options. And I was so happy because I was like, oh my God, I hope this works out, you know? It didn't work out. And it was the best option. But the setup of the home and how strict she was, no kitchen time, no nothing. And what she had to offer was not enough. It didn't match up. So that was a no-go. And then the second place, which is my home today, which was the best option. I'm so glad I was able to get this option. This woman, she was very professional. She gave me a tour of the home. She told me a lot of the things that I was able to use. She broke down the rent and what it covers, which utilities, cable, and all the space and storage that I needed. This was like, God was like, you know what? You've been struggling. You deserve this. And he just put it in my lap. And I was just like so happy because when I left this place, I knew this is where I wanted to stay. She even had the leasing a room, the leasing papers, and she was the most professional. And I really appreciated that because I am big on how clean a place is and the amount of space that I am able to have. This option was the best option. I'm living here today and it's great. Speaking at the end, she said, yeah, I'm gonna need 3 reference. If you could able to drop a deposit. Once she was to talk to those 3 reference, she would give me a call back if it all checked out. And I was like, yeah, for sure. And I was so excited because I knew like by the end of like reviewing everything and speaking to her and getting to know her, she was so genuine and so nice. The rent, I was wondering, I was like, what is the gag? Why is it so cheap? Because this is a lot of space. This house is very clean and a lot of parking, bro. So I was like, what is it that makes it so cheap? Where I live, it's basically like a garage converted into a room, and it's great. Like, it looks really good. But the only thing is that I do have the wash and dryer. That's what makes it so cheap. But guess what? Take that over anything because one, rent is affordable. I'm in a nice area. I'm in a quiet, clean neighborhood. I'm in the suburbs. And I'm near a lot of nice stores. So if you need the washer and dryer to be in the room, baby, it's going to stay there, okay? I was like, what? That is nothing. That's why you guys see the dividers, because that divides the little area. And honestly, I'm never here whenever someone do their washing and drying, so it really doesn't bother me. I'm grateful. So what I would say, if you are looking to rent a room, try looking to rent a room in an apartment, in a home. Go through a lot of the advertisement. Put the ones that have images and your price range. I was looking for a price range of $600 to $700, and I found this. So if your budget is $600 to $800, you're going to find something. Don't give up. Make sure you have references if they ask for that, because most real homeowners, they're not trying to like rent their home to anybody. They want people that are legit and that can pay their bills. And you have to be able to show that you can pay your bills and have great reference. Make sure that when you do go on Craigslist, it's legit. Don't ever give out any personal nothing. It should be the process of searching, reach out through email, and then exchange your telephone number, and then do a review of the space you're trying to rent, and then you decide whether it's good or not. It's literally that simple, but it does take a lot of time. It took me one whole night because I was under pressure and I really needed to secure this place, so that by the 1st I can move out without any problems. And I was able to do that within one night. This is the receipt. I couldn't find a way to show you with the front camera, so I'm just showing you with the back camera. This is to show you guys I'm not capping. If it's helpful, please give this video a thumbs up. I will be coming out with more videos, so stay tuned for that. And I'm going to be putting you guys on to a lot of things that I realized. So, yes. If you guys would like a room tour, be sure to leave a comment down below. So thanks again for watching. Hope you guys enjoy this video, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!